Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Arko and today we will be appreciating some older tech. Yes, so I uploaded a video on the 2015 MacBook Pro about a year ago and I was so positively surprised by your response. I didn't even know that there were so many people who appreciated older tech and who wanted to purchase a 2015 MacBook Pro, and so many people in the comments had different questions, opinions, advice. So in this video what we are going to do is I'm going to go through your comments, I'm going to respond to them, we are going to discuss everything related to the older MacBooks and whether you have some concerns. And if you're thinking about buying that laptop today in 2023, I will try to give you some advice whether you should do that or not. By the way, I still have my 2015 MacBook Pro. I still use it. It still works perfectly. I don't have any issues with it other than the battery, which is something that we will get into. But the number one type of comments that I received in that video was people appreciating me for appreciating older tech, and I really love that. And definitely thank you for noticing that. Thank you for noticing my passion when it comes to older pieces of technology. That's something that I definitely want to do more in the future. I can start by saying that this MacBook that I have, it's still holding up. For the type of a user that I am, it's still working okay. It's not the best, of course. I can see the performance downgrade. The battery is not good, but honestly for my uses for this laptop, which is just browsing the internet, reading pretty much 90% of the time on it, and typing documents. Oh, by the way, the typing experience on this MacBook never gets old. Whenever I go back to my PC and I type something on my PC, it's not the same. That keyboard that I have, it's not even close. The keyboards actually were and still are, I believe, a big selling point of these MacBooks. You know that Apple kind of made a mistake by going to the butterfly keyboards on their newer devices and then switching it back. And I really encourage or support that decision because these keyboards are honestly something that was so good on these MacBooks and something that a lot of you have praised as well. But let's actually go through your comments a little bit more in detail. So the first comment says, great to see someone who appreciates that quality old tech can be used for years. Yeah, thank you for noticing that. The second one is actually of someone who also purchased a 2015 MacBook Pro around $340 including shipping, and it runs macOS Monterey just fine. They don't feel like it's a 7-year-old computer at all, now 8-year-old almost. And even before that, they were using a 2012 MacBook Unibody, and one thing about Apple is that they build products to last, and that's why they stick with them. I mean, not every product, I would say. Yes, Apple makes really good products in general, but these 2015 MacBooks or even earlier MacBooks were honestly something that they did so well. When it comes to the price, I'm gonna go ahead and actually tell you that a lot of you who were purchasing MacBooks and left their experience in the comments, you were usually getting them for around $300. They will maybe probably fall in price even more now in 2023, but I'm really happy that you got your 2015 MacBook Pro. Now this comment is also saying that they purchased a MacBook Pro for $380 plus tax. They were coming from Windows, so it was a little bit of an adjustment. Same thing for me. I'm still in the process of adjusting myself to macOS. Things just work differently on this operating system, especially when we talk about installing apps, uninstalling apps, file and disk management. It's a little bit different. It doesn't need to mean that it's worse or better than Windows. It's just different. They say that it's a great tool and that it works reliably compared to Windows laptops. It feels premium and they don't feel like it's going to break in their backpack, which is something that I mentioned in my original review video, and I totally agree with that because this device is so sturdy and solid. You just don't hear any cracks, you don't hear any noises, and you're definitely not afraid of putting it in your backpack and just going on your trip or whatever. What is or could be an issue, I have to say, is the fact that it is a heavy device, right? It feels substantial. And especially if you want to put in the charger with you in your bag, it's gonna be a problem. I've noticed that if I put the charger together with the laptop, that's pretty much the only thing that I can carry in my backpack. So it was a real struggle when I was, for example, flying to New York and I had to put my MacBook, the charging brick, the extension cord, and and my camera in my backpack. My backpack was literally about to break. So just get a good battery so that you don't have to carry around your charger, because it definitely adds to the weight. What this user also mentioned is that they love the ports. You didn't have to carry a lot of dangles and like think about that or worry about that. That is really a great thing, because this laptop has a lot of ports and you don't have to worry about it. And this person also mentioned how good the trackpad is. And I definitely feel like that's something that's overlooked when we talk about MacBooks. I don't think that any really other laptop maker does trackpad the way that Apple does them. It is so intuitive, so easy to use. It's just smooth like butter. And what I'm gonna say might be a little bit controversial now, but I feel like on the newer MacBooks, the trackpad has been made too large. It simply looks ridiculously big, and I think that when you're typing or when you're using the laptop, you might accidentally touch the trackpad because it's so large, whereas this one feels honestly the right size. And when I upgrade to a new MacBook, I'm definitely gonna miss this trackpad. Okay, so going to the next comment, this person says that the nice part about the 2015 MacBook Pro is that you can replace the battery if needed. Yes, exactly. The battery is not hard to replace even by yourself. You can even replace the SSD. They upgraded the 256GB version of storage to 2TB of storage, which is really amazing. And they say that it's super easy and it's a great upgrade to do. I mentioned in my previous video that the speaker was also a little bit muffled and that it wasn't working perfectly, so they are advising me to replace the speaker while I'm at it. I haven't done that yet. I don't think it's a must for me, because again, I use my earbuds for at least 90% of cases, so I don't find myself needing to have a perfect speaker experience on this laptop. I do think that it's a limiting factor sometimes when I don't have my earbuds on hand, so that can be a little bit of a limiting situation, but honestly in most of the cases I just use the earbuds and I connect them via Bluetooth and I'm good to go. And then we have this user who said that they purchased a 2015 13-inch 16GB RAM version with 256 SSD for $300 used. That is a really good deal, I believe, because I have the 8GB version and I definitely see it struggling sometimes, especially if I'm using a lot of apps at once. So I do believe that the 16GB version of RAM is definitely something you should just consider that whichever laptop you're looking at buying, because it's 2023. Apps are getting actually more demanding and they're just using more RAM, so I would definitely advise you to upgrade to 16GB of RAM. They said also that the battery needed a replacement as well. They replaced it for $60, so if you're looking at replacing the battery, now you know how much it costs based on this user's experience. And also they mentioned that unfortunately when it comes to Windows laptops, you can get a lot of lemons. And I feel like that is very true, because I mentioned in that video again that I had to go through 3 consecutive laptops and every single one of them had an issue that made me return them. I thought that maybe Windows laptops were gonna be less expensive than Apple's laptops, like higher quality, but unfortunately that just wasn't the case for me. I was kind of forced to go into the MacBook world. I didn't have intentions of doing that, but now that I'm here, I honestly don't have any regrets and I'm really happy with this laptop. So yeah, so thank you for the comment again, and let's go into the next one. This person says that they've been considering purchasing this laptop refurbished because they need an upgrade, and this laptop meets all their criteria, which is the same as mine. So that criteria basically was that the laptop had to look good from the front, so from the outside, which I think that this laptop even in 2023 looks still very, very good. The next criteria was that it had good performance, which meant that it doesn't have to have the best performance, right? Because I do have my main driver, my PC, which is for more demanding tasks. So this laptop had just to be a good web search like device and something that is good for reading, for example, and typing documents as well. And this will definitely offer you that. And the third criteria was that it wasn't within my price range, and that price range was at around $300. So now this is a long comment, but I actually appreciate the insight into your experience. So this person replaced the speakers on their laptop for $30 to $40, and then they also say that they upgraded the storage. And this is a very interesting moment here, because I got a lot of comments from you asking me whether this laptop was good for this and that, for example, for graphic design, for programming, for more intensive tasks. And what this person is saying is that they used their MacBooks for heavy multitasking multitasking, transferring large batches of files, with watching high-resolution videos on their 4K Ultra HD LG monitor, doing web design, doing Word documents or spreadsheets, graphic design, and heavy 3D CAD. There you have it. If you were interested in how these things would perform on this laptop, essentially what this person is saying, that it's fine, that you would not have a lot of problems. But again, this was the 16GB version of RAM laptop, so definitely something to keep in mind. And also the 15-inch in this case. And again, I have to say that I feel like the 15-inch 2015 MacBook is more of a home device, if you know what I mean. It would be so hard to transport it, to bring it along to your classes or to university or to work. So I definitely feel like it's more of a stationary device, but I'm really happy with what this person says, and they say that it's basically a fantastic and great choice for everyone who is on a budget, and I agree with that. And of course, the Retina display looks very good and pretty comparable in quality to their 4K Ultra HD LG monitor. But now the next comment says something a little bit different in terms of the performance, and they basically say that their 13-inch MacBook Pros were struggling even with basic browsing. However, as per Luke Miani on YouTube, they learned that that happens because the battery is dead. I think also that battery capacity and just battery performance impacts the overall performance of a laptop. So if your battery is really bad or it has a lot of cycles and it needs servicing, I definitely would advise you to do that, because you're going to think that the problem is with the laptop itself as a whole, but honestly I think that the problem would be more with the battery. So if you swap out the battery, you might have a better experience. The interesting thing in this comment is that this person said that they wouldn't go older than 2015, but that they also wouldn't go for the 2016 till the 2019 versions of MacBooks for their keyboard issues. And honestly, what I've gathered from the internet is not that they have keyboard issues, but a variety of issues in general. So they have overheating issues, they have fan noise issues, they have of course keyboard issues, they even have display issues. These laptops are just like a whole bunch of laptops that I would stay away from, which essentially leaves us with the 2015 MacBooks or the M1 MacBooks and MacBook Airs. It's a huge difference between the two, especially in price, and I've actually got a lot of comments saying this, and that is that you want to upgrade from the 2015 to the M1 models of MacBooks, and I totally agree with you, because I think those processors are far more efficient, they are more powerful, you won't have any overheating issues, and the keyboard is fixed on those models as well. I guess save up the money and just go for the M1 versions of MacBooks. Now this comment actually brings our attention to the Apple ecosystem, and that is essentially this user is saying that because they had an iPhone, they also thought about purchasing the MacBook for easier share of files between their laptop and the phone. And yeah, I think that airdropping your files is definitely easier than having to plug in some cables and transfer files like that. And that is something that actually will impact my purchasing decision of my new phone, because I'm looking to get a new phone. And I was first looking at Android phones, right, because they're more affordable, but now I'm like, what if I actually make an investment into an Apple phone or an iPhone, because it would allow me to transfer my files easier and quicker between the laptop and the phone. And especially when I upgrade, also when it comes to my MacBook, I think I'm gonna have an easier time transferring files, especially videos that I'm making or filming on my phone as well. So this comment actually asks for how many years is it going to be receiving software updates. Unfortunately, it's already stopped receiving software updates. The new macOS Ventura is not supported on this MacBook. I guess that's a bummer, of course, and that's gonna sway a lot of you away from purchasing this device, and that is completely reasonable. But what I'm going to say is that I'm still receiving updates for Monterey, and that means there's still like bug fixes and performance fixes or improvements which I receive from Apple, so it's not like I've completely stopped receiving all sorts of updates. This person again confirms that they got their MacBook for $250. That's a really good deal, I believe. This person says that they got theirs for $300. So that's essentially the price range that we're within here. So from $250 to $350, that's just how things are. Now this one does sound a little bit more expensive. This person got theirs for $510. I don't know if it's US dollars or Australian or Canadian dollars. It does seem a little bit on the pricey side. However, it does have 520 gigabytes of storage, and the battery is in a very good condition. And also this is the 15-inch version, so I guess it is still a decent purchase, but I feel like it's a little bit on the pricier side. So yeah, guys, that would be it. Of course, I didn't have the chance or the time to go through each and every single one of your comments, but I appreciate them all equally. Thank you for interacting with that video. Thank you for leaving a comment, for leaving a like, for subscribing. Again, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel because I'm so close to hitting 500 subscribers. So if you're someone who likes to watch videos on older tech, older devices, this channel is definitely for you. So stay tuned for more updates and more videos. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, leave them down below and I will reply to all of them. So thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.